needs help as great as the American so-called Negro. We hate ourselves.
That's right.
Because of the teaching and the trainings of our slave master.
Yes, sir.
Who put one of us against the other.
When Elijah Muhammad spoke, the black poor listened.
Your slave master and all of his children are none other than the devil.
Elijah Muhammad referred to the United States as the wilderness of North America because his people had nowhere to go and no one to turn to until he was sent by Allah to wake up America's sleeping blacks by teaching them Islam. According to Muhammad, Islam was the true religion of black people before they were stripped of it by their slave masters and forced to become Christians. He taught his followers that the white man's heaven was the black man's hell.
There's no such thing as you are going to die and one day come up out of the earth meeting your friends that also died before you. I said, get out of that slavery teaching. That's the white man's teaching to keep you blind, deaf, and dumb to the knowledge of self.
According to the nation's history, Elijah Muhammad got his teachings from this man, a silk peddler, who claimed to be Allah in the flesh. The two of them met in the ghetto of Detroit in 1930, and that's where they began the Nation of Islam. Times were hard, so they attracted their first members by promising them more prosperous lives.
The first teachings that the ministers were given, and all of them knew it by heart, I knew it by heart, says if you will accept Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad and his messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and become a Muslim and support this Nation of Islam, that Allah has promised you that he will give you money, plenty money, good homes, and friendship in all walk of life. This was the teaching. This was the opening. This was the bait.
Elijah Muhammad used all the bait he could to fish dead blacks out of the grave of North America, so he opened businesses to lure those who needed jobs.
So we used a lot of tricks to get them to come there. And we told them if they were poor, say, look, we got jobs. So we make jobs for our people. And we did.
The nation also provided education of a very basic nature for its adult members. Elijah Muhammad referred to the minds of his people as baby minds, because under slavery, their minds had never been developed.
One of the most important things that the messenger taught us was taking a bath at least once a day. A lot of us, before we accepted Islam, took a bath on the weekends. And that was mostly under the arms. They call that a pigeon bath. I was a soldier in the Nation of Islam and very militant. Matter of fact, I can show you a picture, I have it up here, of myself.
Yeah, which one is it?
This is a picture here of me with the bow tie on. Usually everybody could recognize a Muslim by the bow tie, the clean cut suits. Would you like to see my uniform?
Yeah, I'd love to.
I put this uniform on, I said, all praises to Allah. Because, you know, everybody wanted to get into the uniform, you see.
How did it make you feel when you...
Oh, I felt proud. I wanted everybody to see me, and, you know. And when people saw me coming down the block with my uniform, you know, they said, where you going, brother? I said, I'm going to the mosque. You ought to come with me, you know. Here it is. There it is. Boy.
How did you stand then?
I stood just like this when I stood post in the mosque, and we were very serious. You know, very serious.
What was the look for? The serious look?
Oh, that was the look. If you look at a Muslim boy, he would scare you because he had that look. And if you would have got up out of one of those seats to go against the minister, that would be the last you would learn a lesson because they would put a hurting on you.
The men who joined the nation were known as the Fruit of Islam. They learned how to be soldiers for their cause in Fruit of Islam class.
That class had a lot of influence on us. To see all of the brothers that live all over the city coming to one place. What they taught us was that we had been taking orders from Caucasians all of our lives. Now it's time to take orders from black men. We would all fall in And if we didn't fall in, we fall in. And if we didn't fall in right, you see, he said, fall back out, get back over there. What do you think you're doing? We would get back over, you know, fall in. We would come back, fall in. And if we did it right that time, he said, okay. He said, left piece, right piece, original salute. And some brothers, they didn't do the original salute the way they should do it, you know. They would have their hand up here. He'd walk up to the brother and ball him out, just like in the army, you know. Get that hand right, brother. What kind of army do you think you're in? The brother, you know, just like that, you know. So we would come back ready front, and we would drill up and down the floor and whatnot, and it would sound so nice because we would all be in the same step, you know. Forward hat step, hot, hip, ho, hip, ho, hip, ho, hip, ho, through here, ha. By the left flank, hard, left flank, hard.
Any Muslim who was big enough to walk was big enough to drill. Without discipline, black people would never learn how to do for themselves, and Elijah Muhammad did not want his followers depending on the white man. He felt that blacks had been begging the white man for too long, so when other blacks marched for integration, Elijah Muhammad preached separation.
I say again, and I hope that I could say this, and that the whole world of human being could hear it. Never to want to marry white people. If the Ku Klux Klan want to keep their race white, I say, help yourself. Go to it. Now, when I say I want to keep mine black, Ku Klux Klan, keep your mouth out of it.
A611 alaikum. Welcome to another show. My dear brothers and sisters, I've lost my voice already, but we are live. And we were just reminiscing. I have the messenger's captain here with me today, and that's what I called him, the messenger's captain, Brother Wali Bahar. A611 alaikum.
Salam.
I just want to tell you all that are watching us today, we really appreciate you. This is Savior's Day, and we thought it would be foolish for us not to even acknowledge it. Yesterday, I was streaming live. I did a couple of shows. As many of you know, it's been political season, so we was getting the politicians out of the way. And I thought about the messenger departed from us in 1975, February 25th, about 8 a.m., I think. But I'm going to have a guest on later who's going to tell me exactly what time everything took place. I won't call his name yet because I want to get you excited about him. I have to smile because I like this guy. But Brother Wali Bahar, we've discussed things over the years. I really appreciate it because I saw his work in the Nation of Islam. I admired just the title of being called the messenger's captain. And that's something in itself. I was scheduled to have John Ali, who was the messenger's secretary, on as well. You know, John Ali is 92 years old, but and he told me to charge it to his age. He had forgotten he had another engagement. So I'm telling you straight up on the air, up until that time, he was coming, and we were looking forward to him. As many of you know, I've had John Ali on more in the last couple of years than I ever had. And I'll just say this to you, because I still see these little comments that many of the people make on this social media. Brother and sister, just because you see it on social media don't mean it's true. And some of you still so foolish as to think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had something to do with Malcolm X's death. and you keep using that. And you accuse John Ali of being an informant because he applied for a job with the FBI. John Ali was an erudite. He was a smart guy. And he proved that on many occasions, some of the things that he did with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He may have been all those things that you say, but we give people an opportunity to defend themselves. He really didn't even dignify your responses, but I've had enough in it to know I wouldn't be reading Message to the Black Man, or Fall of America, or Our Savior Has Arrived, if it were not for John Ali. I know what the messenger said about it. He lived with it for 11 months. Now, 9 months, I think. He doesn't embellish it. The reason I'm taking time to share this with you, because we are the archive, whether you like it or not. We not only have the history, we not only talk about it, but we can show you things. And we're a great defense team for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So to continue to show you that, I don't care who they are, we show you a picture of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad declaring, these are my ministers. I was not one of them, but you couldn't prove it by what I show you. And whether you like it or anybody else like it, I do this out of a labor of love. And I do it because you saw that wonderful man in the introduction and saw the way he spoke. Didn't speak with no ambiguity. Straight up, whether you liked it or not. Now, it's up to you to interpret it if that's what you want to do. But joining me, I don't bring Brother Wali Bahar in here to give me a lot of revelations. I bring him here because he is a pioneer. He walked with the man. He had a chance to know many of us that came in as young Muslims. And plus the fact, I like him, and his wife was always nice to us, and she was a relative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But he can stand on his own accord. Brother Wali, again. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir.
I'll have you to know that I have I'm Skyping. Also, I thought I was Skyping. I don't see my brothers and sisters from Camden, New Jersey. They're supposed to be online as well. This is kind of a meet and greet, if you will, Wally. We're talking, and people are watching from around the country. You talk about the history as you know it, and that's why I wanted to bring you in. You never did a lot of talking, but you certainly was a person that people admired, you know, even in your drilling. And believe me, I didn't like drilling because I was scared it looked too much like the Army to me. And I ain't going to tell you no lie. I didn't go to Canada, but I sure didn't go to the Army. But I'm glad that you're here. So what do you...
I never been to the Army either.
You did? But you could drill like you did.
Yes.
Yeah. And then with... I don't want to say you punish those who didn't, but you could be straightforward with them if they didn't know how to do it. So tell me, what brought you to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Same thing probably brought the Prince.
Yeah.
Back then, I became black first.
Okay.
In the 50s. And when I ran into the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I understood what black was.
Yeah.
And
you really got a taste of black.
I had tasted black before I got there.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it was I tasted.
Okay, now I'll teach you. Okay.
Yeah. So when I met him, I knew what black was, I knew what power was, and I knew this man.
Yeah.
The only thing that I didn't know who God was. And what I found out from this man, without doubt, who the devil is.
Yes. He put a suit and tie on God and the devil. He did.
Yes, he
did.
did.
And you know, Brother Wali, the way, the conviction that I saw, you know, you saw in the piece where the brother was kind of making mockery about the look we had, because I didn't see anything funny in the nation initially. I said, man, dude, Muslims ever laugh, but you had a good time talking about your resurrection. You know, but many of us became scientists, as they say, bean soup scientists, and got relaxed and comfortable and thinking that when we got to heaven, all we had to do now is sit down.
I'd like to make one
Please.
observation on the brother in the opening
Okay,
when he was explaining the business and explaining the discipline.
teach.
The business was not open to make a show.
Right,
The
teach.
business was open. The grocery store was open so we could eat,
Teach.
and the factory was open so we'd make our clothes,
Go ahead.
and the bakery was open so we could bake our food,
Right.
and your supermarket was open so we'd have somewhere to shop.
And what he's saying, that was the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talking about this was the bait also. This was the trick. He promised you money, good home, and friendship in all walks of life. Well, that was a promise that I realized was true, but it didn't fall out the sky. I was not smoking marijuana anymore. I was not drinking whiskey or gambling with what I didn't have. I was not smoking cigarettes. I was not engaging in all kind of foolish things. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden you would see an accumulation of monies that you didn't see before. Well, what was your, and plus, we had the fish that made us money too.
The fish program from Peru
Right.
started because we wanted to establish that we had the ability to do other than America. And Peru was surveyed and found to produce a good fish. And therefore, we decided that we were going to buy the fish, fix the fish, sell the fish, and eat the fish.
And we had all kind of recipes with that fish.
Yeah.
You know, brothers and sisters, those of you who want to talk to Brother Wali Bahar, I want to talk to him, but I'm blessed to be able to pick up the phone and call him, and he'll call me back, which I'm honored that he would do that. But you can call him at 773-434-6625 or 773-434-6631. And we're streaming live all over the entire world. If you want to call us from Canada, if you want to call us from Miami, or if you want to call us from Camden, because we have an audience in Camden, and I want to give my brother a chance to say a word or two. They are the people that were the beneficiaries of Crow, I would say more so than anybody, because in the Nation of Islam, during the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, every book that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote was banned. And when I met those people, I found out that it was them. And I fell in love with them instantly. And people would ask me, why do you go to Camden? Camden was a beautiful, beautiful little temple. But the brothers, the young brothers that would be talking, you know, Dr. Salam, you remember Dr. Salam? Dr. Salam had this old film, and it would show these brothers and sisters talking. They had such a beautiful temple. And even though Wasim was quite older, but he has produced a lot of young people. So when I go there, I feel at home. In fact, sometimes more than I feel here.
I agree.
And it's a wonderful group of people. But let me see if we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Assalamu alaikum. Caller from Alabama.
Caller, how are you, brother?
All praises due to Allah and happy Savior's Day to you, brothers.
Same to you, brother.
And I would like to ask a question
You can.
to our dear brother. What was your fondest memory of being around the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Fondest memory from Alabama.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah, I know. I said you are in Alabama, aren't you?
Yes, sir, I am, sir.
Okay. Do you have you get too many to mention?
I would say the fondest memory is meeting him.
Meeting him.
Yes.
Meeting him.
Yep.
And you heard that. He said the fondest memory is just meeting him. Just
I
being
mean, how
in his
was
presence.
it? How was it? What happened?
I would have to tell you. I would have to tell you the first time that I encountered physically this man. My little baby brother Silas had an appointment with him, and he took me along. And when I got there, the first question was asked to Silas, "Who is this brother you bring to my home that I didn't invite?"
Yeah.
And he went on to do what he'd do to anyone else would have done that. And my impression then was, why am I here?
Yeah, but you know, that is something when you're not invited.
Right.
And but
I would like to add to that
great.
what I personally feel that the messenger saw in that moment was my brother brought something to him that no one had ever brought, and that was another brother.
Yeah. And you know, that was big of Silas to do that.
It was.
When you think of, he must have thought an awful lot of you, and that's another thing people don't know. You and Silas were like brothers.
Not like
Still
that.
like, well, our brothers.
There is a brother called Silas. It's not blood. It's not spirit. It's mental.
Mental.
It's a mental.
Okay, so it'd be mental. In fact, you saw him this weekend.
I saw him this weekend and had the most beautiful lecture I ever heard by someone that didn't follow him, that young man sitting over there, the Prince's son.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
You talking about yourself?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, so is that enough for you, brother? He's gone? Okay. So, and I also want to impart something else, brother, while we're sitting here. This book, The Birth of a Savior, we had this book in print for over 30 years. And I alluded to it on Sunday that it really was talking about the Jesus that was produced, of course, with us, that we were that original people that had been from heaven, and the man who was in heaven left heaven to come here and impregnated the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which produced us. So that Jesus you talk about that was dead is really reminiscent of us. See, you buy this book for decorations. Many of you have done that. But if you just start anywhere in the book, but if you read page 17, and it talks about producing that baby, and I don't have the time to go into it for you because I have Brother Wali here, and I want his thoughts on just about everything. But I want you to really read this book and stop looking for a mystery Jesus. You got that Jesus of 2,000 years ago, and you have the Jesus today. Even the Imam alluded to what he called the body Christ. He was not really far off that. But you still got to have one a little bit more superior because we all are stars, brother. And it says some stars shine brighter than others. What are your thoughts?
I don't consider myself a star.
Okay.
I will say
you acknowledge.
I'll acknowledge that I see you. I personally see you as a star, and I don't flatter you. I don't flatter you. I say that because I don't see a light like yours shining. You know, it's not the light you shine; it's the essence that make you shine, and the essence of Crow is much more greater than the expression of it.
I can go along with that.
Yeah.
It's good. Good analogy. Our brothers and sisters, we are here with Wali Bahar. It is his day and our day and his Savior's day. And we're going to be here until you tell us to stop. You know what I mean? But you can't put us out because the mortgage is paid. You understand? But if you want to talk to us, 773-434-6625 and 773-434-6631. And we're watching on YouTube, Facebook, and our own channel, live stream. So wherever you're watching us, you can talk to us. Now, if I have some questions some people wanted to ask, this is the time to ask. So you have a live shot from Camden, New Jersey. A lot of the people are watching there. If some of them want to talk, we're available to you as well. Is Brother Minister Wasim available? I can hear you breathing, brother. Brother Wasim, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, I guess not. So,
Yes, sir. I'm available, brother.
okay,
Assalamu
wife's arm.
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to ask or say to Brother Wali? You heard me mention about how the books were banned, and you grew up in that era. You were born a Muslim, but you didn't learn about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad until you began to search the internet and you heard of a little group called Crow. So can you talk to us about this, or do you want to talk to Wali? Can you hear me?
It's feedback.
Yes, sir.
Is it feedback?
Well, it's
Yeah, we hope it's not feedback, but I thank you, Brother Munir, for allowing this opportunity for us here in Camden to say a few words. I just want to first say Happy Savior's Day to all the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. But we're here gathering together, having our Savior's Day family dinner, and just enjoying the show. And I'm glad you said that. I can't thank you enough and the members of Crow for standing for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to reconnect us back to what history that was missed by the banning of the books and the tapes and the lectures of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So when we got up and got the books and the tapes back and connected with Crow, here's the example of work that many of us can do when we are informed by a great Savior and his message.
That's right. Well, when you see Brother Wali, who you've met before, but he's here in the studio and he's been around since the 50s, is it anything that you in particular want to say? He's been doing this before you were born,
Yes.
So what are your thoughts?
Well, Brother Munir, I first want to greet my dear brother, the brother captain there. I appreciate him. I have talked to him several times on the telephone. He has family here in New Jersey, and I have great conversation with him. And I appreciate the fact that he encourages younger people like myself and some of the young people that you see here, that to be still going on. I mean, we encourage to still go on, believing and understanding and being thankful and grateful of Allah's coming and raising the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We thank him for that and for his years of service to us here in the community.
Brother Wali, I'm not going to give way to Wali. We have this conversation sometimes because people think in terms of success in the way of numbers. But the Holy Quran talks about success doesn't depend on numbers, but those, who are rooted and firmly rooted into the teaching. They talk about, had it been a near gain and a short journey, they would have surely followed thee. The people who was here yesterday couldn't hold on until today. Do you continue to look back to justify your being? Are you comfortable that you're on the right road?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that. And yes, Brother Munir, we are an example here in Camden, New Jersey, the members here of Temple number 20, that success don't depend upon numbers. There may be a lot of people who have more numbers here in the Delaware Valley than we have, whether they're church, mosque, temple, or synagogues. But the impact that we have with the work and wisdom of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the program here can be seen and heard all up and down Camden and South Jersey and the Delaware Valley at large.
And I can bear witness. And I can bear witness. Yeah, I don't want to do any feedback, but I got to do this. I can bear witness because when I bring my key to Camden, it unlocks things. I don't have a key in Chicago, but I have one in Camden, thanks to you and my beautiful mayor, Mayor Dana Red, you know. So I thank you. But anyway, let me say this, brother. Wally, anything you want to say to my brother? Is there anything you want to say? Say something.
I can say this, brother. Having studied your organization there in Camden, I can tell you what I tell anyone that I have admiration for. I am your other brother, and I make a backup of that. I am Wali Bahar simply because Elijah Muhammad said that I am, and that is my only I am. And I was made to be the Wali for those who follow him. I am your other brother. That's about it.
And he said that's how he became his captain. Yeah. Were you able to hear him? Were you able to hear him?
Yes, sir. I heard him well, Brother Munir.
Okay. Well, listen, brother. You stick around in the program. I'm going to take a break and let you hear from maybe a comment or two by the messenger and your audience. And then if other people don't call, you can stand up and ask a question when you on the other side. Okay? All right,
Yes,
so we're going to take a break. Brothers and sisters, we're streaming live. But before we do, call a friend, text someone, email them, tell them that we're live in Chicago, talking to the messenger's captain, Brother Wali Bahar. But this is just the beginning because we have another interesting guest in the studio, and he's just dying to come out here. And so I don't know if he's going to be back on the other side or I'm going to wait until I complete this. We'll see. So we're streaming live all over the world, and we'll be right back.
Mr. Muhammad's home. We want to thank him for being so gracious in extending this opportunity for us to explore with him the full meaning of the black Muslims. He has written a book called The Message to the Black Man in America, which will soon be published. And we have used this book to base a number of our questions to Mr. Muhammad. Mr. Muhammad, in this book you make a number of stipulations of which we would like to press you on in the course of this session today. One, you call for the separation of the Negro into a separate state, either in this United States or made possible by the United States. Two, you say that war between the whites and the blacks is inevitable.
Yes. I'm very glad to answer these questions, Mr. Cup, to you and to the world. They are most essential that we should give the world the answer to such questions. I have been preaching and teaching the answers to these questions for many years. I give thanks first, Mr. Cup, to God, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad around 34 years ago now to me. And all that I have and been teaching, it is from him. And it is very easy for us to recognize the visit of this mighty one according to the time. If we have the knowledge of the time that we are living in, we can accept and respect this mighty visitor in this part of the world to fulfill that which was written of him, that he will come. And now he has come, and he has given out his purpose and his aims, as it also is written in the Bible in Quran. And therefore I have nothing of myself in this answer. It is all from him.
From him you mean the messenger of Allah?
No, not the messenger of Allah. I'm the messenger of Allah. I mean from Allah himself, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad.
Who preceded you as the head of the Muslims?
Well, he was actually the beginner. Yes, sir. And I'm taught by him. Every one of my followers is free to do whatever they want to after truth has come to them.
Assalamu alaikum. We are back. And brothers and sisters, the only reason I do this with him, because we want clarity. See, he didn't want Cup to be confused, and he didn't want you to be confused. He said, no, I'm the messenger of Allah. He didn't say he was the God, but he saw that person as the manifestation with God in him. And he's the one that told you God's been living and dying. You don't accept that. That's your business. And quite frankly, Munir doesn't care. I'm entitled to my belief, you're entitled to yours. But I am trying to impose my will on you that you at least pay attention to it. If you don't know nobody like him, I can prove it to you. And this is why we played Dr. King the other day, because Dr. King, they asked him, did you ever see yourself as being a leader of your people? Dr. King said he wanted to be a lawyer. He wanted to be in medicine. But he never thought of that. He gave way to his dad, who was more of the intellectual, but he said he was the co-pastor of the church. So he said, well, damn, I go to the, seminary school. Now, so, and then what's the boy Gandhi is the one got him to turn the other cheek. So he didn't have a thought of his own in leading us. I'm from Alabama. You know, that when we won the boycott, and the white people said, no, they said, y'all come back if you sell your buses and we'll let you back on the bus. Now, damn, he should have took a psychiatrist course, in my opinion. Now, you all love him, everybody love him, but you just don't understand the difference between the two. Dr. King, when he saw the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said, what a man. But white people were so good at what they do. They said, we'll wait until Elijah dies, or if he's killed, we'll change the philosophy and outright destroy the Nation of Islam by utilizing not Jim Crow, but his own son tying the property up in probate court. Now, you can throw darts at me if you want, but I'll just give you the document. What white people say. You believe that. So I said that. Boy, I tell you, it's a good thing it's my camera, isn't it? Hello? Okay, nobody wants to talk. Oh, Assalamu alaikum, sis. How are you?
Walaikum salam.
I'm so
I'm
happy
fine.
to see you. Are you happy to see me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I made you tell me that even if you didn't want to. It's good to see you again. And I know you have a couple of questions for this great and wonderful man. Is that right? What is your question?
So, I wanted to know if Master Fard Muhammad gave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the blueprint on how to build the nation, or if he had to figure it out himself along the way.
Ooh, I like that. But Wali, I give way to you. What do you think?
From my understanding, from my experience, having not been there, is that God gave him the idea of what the world saw as prophecy, and from that idea is such things as Crow, there's such things as where you are, there's such things that you see living, and I have a grandson born a Wali Bahar.
Now, that tells you something in itself. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he got the blueprint, but he had to go to work. And you're all the gods. And I think He brought the God out
We
in him.
we have to go to work.
Yeah, we all, yes, sir.
Right.
Okay, my dear brother, you have a question or a comment?
Oh, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Brother Hafiz Muhammad. And my question was, how hard was it to try to keep up with the nation when the messenger left in 1975?
Good question.
I began to have an idea what it would be like if he was not in our presence in 1974.
Yeah.
When I had the privilege to visit him in Mexico, and I'm sure my brother could give you more details on the trip, but I saw the health and state of him then. And as surprising as it was in 1975, Imam Warith Muhammad came to my home early that morning and took me to the hospital. And I had a chance, by his permission, to look up on the man that I had served. And when I looked down at him, I saw the man, and I know it was the man that I had served, right down to the mole on his face. And I tried to close his eyes. I was able to do that, and I tried to lift his jaw. I was not able to do that. And the only thing that I consciously remember when I stepped out of there is I took charge of security for that building, for there was no one else in charge.
All praises due to Allah. Now, beloved brothers and sisters, do you hear that? Now, it doesn't matter what you believe the man's telling you about his experience. But see, they had us devastated because when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed, we went to sleep. I did. I was devastated. I thought it was the end of the world for me. And I want you to hear this, brothers and sisters. But when I came to the conclusion that just because he wasn't here, but all of his good work was out here somewhere, I began to travel to find that. Everywhere in the United States I could go to where someone said they had something on the messenger, some clue that could give me that, because we never made it an issue about him depart. Nobody sit around and talked about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is going to go. I mean, we were having too much fun. We were successful. Why would he leave us now? But brother and sister, I'm so thankful to God that he gave us that test. Because for him to leave us physically forced us to go to work. I was ashamed to come out the house sometime because I didn't want to have to end up killing somebody for saying negative things about the messenger. Now I can take it with a smile because I know we're the winners. Just like he said, with that beautiful smile that he has with a cup of coffee, he said, we'll be the winner, living or dead. And I believe him wholeheartedly. I believe he spoke the truth. I believe he's the messenger of God, no spook God. I believe that man, Master Farad Muhammad, who spoke all those languages, who did all of that teaching, is no accident that one man stands alone. There's no combination of Negroes that fit the mold of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's my contention. Nobody comes close to that. I say that and I mean it. So I wanted you to know that. I wish I could be a little bit more, well, anyway. Is that my beautiful sister?
Assalamu alaikum, Brother
Wa
Muhammad.
alaikum salam. I think this is one of the more intelligent sisters that I ever met in my life. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, and happy Savior's Day, Brother Wali Bahar and Brother Munir.
Thank you.
And happy Savior's Day to the members of Crow. My question for you, brother, is when you joined the Messenger in Chicago as his personal captain, what did that change personally for you in your service to the Nation of Islam?
Thank you.
That's a inspiring question. I was originally his minister, and my first assignment was Santa Barbara, California, and then I ended up as a minister in Akron, Youngstown, and Columbus, Ohio. And while I was there, he called me in one day and he told me that I had been reported by Minister Theodore that I was teaching he was God, and he didn't like that because Allah is the only God. And he didn't remove me, but he admonished me enough that the effectiveness of ministry was out of my spirit. And he called me in to Chicago and he made me his captain. He didn't make me his personal captain. He made me his captain, and the supreme captain, Lehman Sharif, was the supreme captain of the Nation of Islam, and Elijah Muhammad Jr. was the assistant supreme captain to all FOI in the nation. And when he made me captain, it left me to be only his captain because all of my instructions came directly from him. I added his personal captain, for I can waiting for someone to come to me more personal than I am about his personal life.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother. You know, see, brothers and sisters, revelation dispels darkness. It really does. Can you imagine how blessed I feel? This insignificant young brother that they used to call Birmingham, a freedom runner, running up north, not knowing whether I was coming here to go to the John Hancock Center or the Sears Tower or Lake Michigan, having no idea that I would be here today defending my great leader and teacher, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm so honored. You couldn't have a finer job than to have what I have. I was interviewing Gus Savage one day, the congressman in the 2nd Congressional District, and he was getting ready to retire. In fact, he had retired. He said if he had known retirement was this good, he would have been retired. He never would have got a job. If I had known I could have this job, I would have foregone all the other things that I've ever experienced. But I tell people, don't moan for Munir Muhammad, because, you know, Dr. King said, his eyes have seen the glory of the covenant of the Lord. If I go tomorrow, I don't think you could have written this better. They tell me to write a book. I'm writing it every day, because to be able to sit here with not only the messengers, captains, but have walked with many of his ministers. I get a chance on a regular basis to talk with one of his greatest students, you know, to interact with them. It is really, really something. And that's why I say to these young people, don't fool yourself. Wait till you get in the kingdom before all this old boasting and stuff, because you got to do some work first. I just say that to you. Caller, do we have a caller? We don't have a caller. That's terrible. Well, these people are watching, or maybe they want to hear from the messenger. Maybe I should take a break. Does the Mandina have something for me? Yeah. Does he? Okay, I'm sure you can always see. This is a break in the script, brothers and sisters. But look, you can't go anywhere, because I'm going to have another interesting guy. This is a treat for you today. This is called Savior's Day. one of its kind. And Brother Minister Wasi, what can I say about you? See, it's a God give a man sons. And I tell you, it's nothing like having one your same age. So thank you, brother, for all that you do for me personally. So I'm going to take a quick break and let you, and see, this is what work do for you. What did you produce? All that old independent talk that many of these Negroes there. See, I lose control, so I'm going to take a break and I'll come back. But get prepared, for I'll tell you now, the grandson of the messenger of Allah will be with us. And please, when he comes on, give him a standing ovation. We'll be right back.
Enemy that attacks me. If you sit down and wait until I attack, then you're not much of a help. I'm just telling you frankly. Any time that your leader is attacked, you is attacked. And you should go after the attacker with everything you have, of truth to defend yourself and your leader. These attacks falsely accusing and getting in pain enemies, hypocrites that do these things. I've been trying to wait and see whether the real enemy was at the root of it or not. So we are trying to locate the real root, but in the meantime, we have enough hounds running around trying to set traps to do all we can to put a stop to them. Yes. As I said, you have Holy Quran, you have Bible, you have what Allah has given to me to teach you. I have delivered it to you. I have given to you the lesson that He gave to me. And you have studied them. You have tried them. You have tested them on the enemy. And you have found them so strong and invincible that you are happy to meet an attacker. Right? You look for one sometimes because you know you have the better weapon to defend yourself against an attacker when it comes to truth. Right? For 33 years I have been doing this. I spent 7 years running from my enemies and hypocrites from 35 to 42. I was flying for my life up and down the East Coast from my enemies and hypocrites for just the same thing that has happened here recently. One wanted my place. And they all but brought me to a knot as far as followers is concerned in 35. I had no temple in Chicago here.
As-salamu alaikum, we're back. And brothers and sisters, I'm going to go right to the phone because we're running out of time in this segment. So I'm going to take the call. Do we have a caller? All right, caller, you're on the air.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Munir, and yes, this is Sister Viola from the District of Columbia. I'd like to say Happy Savior's Day to the world.
Thank you, sister.
I do have a question for your guest.
Yes, ma'am.
Being who he is and who he was to our messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, can he tell us what is the most enchanting or the most memorable moment that he had with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad? And thank you.
I think he answered that you weren't listening at that time. But go ahead and answer it again. The most.
I had a conversation with him when he gave me my name and of what it meant. And I asked him, what does Wali mean? He said, means a protector. I say, Allah is your protector, dear Holy Apostle. He said, it means more than a protector. It means a friend. And I said, Allah is your friend, dear Holy Apostle. He turned to me and he said, when you come to me, other than who I say you are, there will be no protection from me killing you.
Okay. So it was short and sweet. But my next guest ain't going to be nothing like that short and sweet, I can tell you that. He's going to be rough and tummy. Oh, I have another call. I'll call you on the air.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Munir.
Wa alaikum salam.
And greetings to you also, Mr. Bahar.
Come on, speak up loud now.
Yes, sir, and happy Savior's Day to you both.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
My question is to him. A lot of people say that the messenger's teaching changed their lives. I'd like to know, what was he doing prior to meeting the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
She want to know, a lot of people say the messenger's teaching changed their lives. What were you doing before you met him? Do you want to tell us? Are they still looking for you?
I came in with a brother, same brother I've been mentioning all the time, Silas. He and I was in the grave, as most people in the grave. And we heard this man. He believed. I didn't particularly believe. We called him the Holy Apostle. He said it with joy of belief of divinity, but it didn't make me any difference about the man, if he was holy or not. I accepted him because I knew the devil. And he was the first one that had ever shown the devil. And when he said the white man is the devil, I'm from Mississippi. I knew right away, if there was no God, I know who the devil is.
Hey, brothers and sisters, look, don't go anywhere. We're going to come up for our second hour. All we need to do now is just change the tapes. And we can do it as often as we like. So prepare for another enlightening hour with the Mohammedan friends. Thank you for watching, and may Allah bless you with the light of understanding, and I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.